All right, this is the YouTube video for the week, and this is a good one because I am about 30 minutes post having an allergic reaction to food. I don't know exactly what caused the allergic reaction. I don't know if you can tell, but my eyes are still really puffy because I threw up a bunch. I've noticed that, well, one, to set the scene, my entire life I've had food allergies, so I've grown up having food allergies my entire life. I've had a handful more than a handful of allergic reactions, and typically how my body reacts is that I eat said food within minutes. Honestly, it's pretty instant. I realize that, oh crap, I'm allergic to this food. And then depending on what the food is, I mean, the majority of my allergic reactions have been to eggs. And usually what happens is I'll eat something with eggs in it, and egg sneaks into a lot of different things. Usually the first couple bites of the food tastes okay, and then as soon as I swallow, I'm like, uh-oh. First sign is my mouth produces a ton of saliva. But ultimately what happens is my body throws up all the food and it's just blah blah blah. But when I'm allergic to egg, when I have something that has eggs in it, I'll pretty much be poisoned for a full 24 hours. There have been situations where I've gone to the hospital to be safe, especially when I was younger, because the allergies are pretty severe. So, based on the allergy test, there's a chance that I could be anaphylactic, which means that my esophagus would close and ultimately I would suffocate and die, which happens, which is very, very scary. So, growing up, especially when I was younger, I'd have something that would have eggs in it. And my mom and dad, I remember this one time actually to tell the story. I ate a cake that supposedly was egg free, but it had a ton of eggs in it. I ate a couple bites and I was like, oh, this is not good. And when I was little, I didn't want to be, not this, I didn't want to create a ton of commotion and cause a lot of attention. And I don't know why. I mean, I do know why in terms of just not wanting to bring all this attention. People be like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Which in cases is what you probably should do because you don't want to die. But as little Brennan, I'd be scared and I'd try to just like work through it myself. But there'd be situations where my dad would be like, "Yo, are you okay?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm not okay." And then in this one case, I was like, "I'm not okay." And this is one of my first allergic reactions, and he kept on asking me like, "Is your throat okay? Is your throat okay?" And at that point, I didn't know, and my throat would be like scratchy, and I was like, I don't know. And he ended up shooting me with an EpiPen. And then we went to the hospital. I remember coming out of the car to go to the hospital front door, and I threw up everywhere. So that was one of the first early on reactions. I was probably 8 or 10 years old at that time. That was something where my dad was super nervous, and rightfully so. Where if I didn't speak up, and you can enter a point where it's too late, which means that your esophagus will close, and even if you get hit with an EpiPen, you might not necessarily survive. So it's better to be safe than sorry. Also, it's better to communicate instead of trying to keep it to yourself. And I remember there was another situation like that when I was in preschool. And I'm also allergic to nuts, so like peanut butter and peanuts. And one of my friends, he's still one of my friends to this day. I believe it was him, or maybe it was another kid, but I think it was him. He was eating peanut. He always bring peanut butter and fluff sandwiches, and one time after lunch, so he ate his peanut butter and fluff, and it was still on his hands, and we were wrestling after, and I got some of the peanut butter on my hands, and I remember touching my face and swelling up, and at that point too, I was super young. This is like pre kindergarten, and I just remember standing there in music class after lunch, being like, something is wrong with me. And luckily, the teacher spotted it out and said, Brennan, are you okay? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And then that's when I got help. And at that point in my life, I didn't have, again, I didn't want to become the center of attention and be like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? Which is what you should do. But little Brennan did not think that. But luckily, the teacher spotted that. All right, but yeah, so I have food allergies, and it's something that I've just grown up with, and it's really caused me to be hesitant to try new foods and travel places because a lot of people look at food as an expression and this positive thing, and I do. Like I love food, but it's also something that's scary to me because I've had so many allergic reactions. So when I go out or I go to a new place, a new city, a new country, it's always at the forefront of my mind. Like I got to be careful what I eat. Like I gotta make sure I don't get sick. So it causes me, and this is just my choice, to stay within a very small subsection of foods. Like hey, when I go out to restaurants, I kind of know what is safe, what isn't safe, because there's been so many instances where I go to a restaurant, I try to order something different. The person tells me it's okay, I get sick. Or it's been like I go to a restaurant, the person tells me it's okay. I say, are you sure? Like, could you please double check? They double check, they come back, and I still get sick. Granted, most of the time it's okay, but these experiences have really skewed my approach to trying new foods and my philosophy on trying new foods. So that's kind of the context to it. But tonight, bringing it all back, is I don't know what caused the allergic reaction, but I think it was some baked beans, which I haven't had in a while, but it was baked beans that I used to have growing up. And the ingredients, there's nothing specific in the ingredients that I know I'm allergic to, but I ate like a white rice, baked beans, and broccoli. And as soon as I started eating it, I started to feel sick. Almost felt like acid reflux at first. But then it got to a point where I was like, oh man. And it almost felt like it was stuck in my chest. I wasn't like chest tightness, but it felt stuck. And then I was definitely allergic to it and I threw it all up. But I just wanted to get on here and just capture the raw emotions after it. Threw up, had a Benadryl. I'm feeling better. So this allergy is not nearly as severe as eggs. Because if this was an egg allergy, I would be down for the count for 24 hours at a minimum. So that's a positive. This is also the video for the week. I didn't post on Sunday, so in the effort to be consistent with this new initiative that I am trying, here's the weekly video. Last week, or the end of last week, and part of the reason why I didn't post is because I went on a family vacation down to Rhode Island, which was fantastic. And during that time, I was more so focused on the vacation experiencing with the people I was down there with. So we did get some videos, which will probably be in the vlog for this week, but nothing for last week. Some big things with vacation is it's always difficult, I find. At least I've been working in corporate America for 5 years. I have a clean break from work. I don't think I've ever had a clean break from work prior to a vacation. There's always stuff going on, which is just the way it is. So you have to do your best to delegate as much as you can and send off the emails, like close all the loose ends that you have to and until you get back. So that's one thing I really try to do, and is that I try not to leave things open ended. So if I'm off out of the office and something comes in, my coworkers hopefully are aware and understand. Are like, hey, Brennan's at this point with it. He's coming back on Wednesday, so we'll wait till he gets here. I don't want people to get caught off guard, or let's say I didn't hit a deadline and now somebody else from my team has to pick up my slack, which I try to avoid at all costs. So that's a big takeaway. Another takeaway with vacations is working to enjoy it as much as possible. Given the past couple of years, I feel I'm in this like go, 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 go mindset. And sometimes when I go and take vacations, it's difficult in terms of, it's a weird thing because when I'm in sorry, I'm gonna kind of shift real quick. When I'm in the flow of work or in like a really busy grinding season, there'll be moments during that time period where I say to myself, "Oh man, I am so tired. I need a break. Like I don't know if I can keep going. I'm tired, this and that." And then eventually I get a vacation, and then I'm on vacation. Day one is good. Then once you start getting into like day two, three, four, my mind's like, yo, you got to be doing something. You're you got to be productive. You got to have output, and it's just this constant internal battle that I'm working to figure out because it's not healthy when you're on vacation and you're thinking about all that stuff. I mean, a couple days really isn't going to put you behind. If anything, it's probably going to be beneficial to your productivity and your output when you do go back to work. Um, so that's something that I'm working. And I know Nick Bear talks a lot about this, and he uses this. I don't know what it would be called, but it's like a story that teaches you a lesson. I know I learned it back. I don't know what that word is off the top of my head. The story is that there's a bunch of individuals and their job is to chop wood. And there's a bunch of veterans that chop wood, and there's this new guy that comes in who's eager and he's there to chop wood. And he gets there. And I guess just to preface, I'm hearing this all secondhand from Nick Bear, and it might not be 100% accurate to even what he is saying. So this is what I took away from what I heard from him, from his sayings. But yeah, chopping wood, veteran group, new guy comes in, young guy, strong. He's out there, boom, boom, hitting wood. And then these veterans, they kind of go chop wood, take a break, chop wood, take a break. And this younger guy is just doing it. And at the end of the day, the output of the older veterans is the same or greater than the new guy over time. And the guy's thinking to himself like, how are these veterans chopping more wood or the same amount of wood in less time than I am? And he goes and he asks the veterans, and the veterans say it's because they take time to sharpen their axe. And it makes the chopping of wood that much more efficient, which then leads to greater output. So the moral of that story is that yeah, it's good to continuously just go, but eventually to a point where your axe is going to become dull, which then makes the work that much harder. Where if you take these calculated breaks and you sharpen your axe, then the output will be greater. Granted, life is complex, and a lot of these stories kind of oversimplify life, but it is a good little lesson that you can take into certain realms of your life that, yeah, rest is absolutely necessary. Granted, I'm saying that I haven't really accomplished too much in my life right now at this point. I'm not like super successful, super wealthy. I'm building towards that. So a lot of these ideas that I'm sharing, who knows if they actually work because I'm currently testing them out as I go and also documenting it. So, I mean, maybe when you look back 10 years from now and you're like, hey, that idea was correct, or no, that idea was wrong. So, that is also just a disclaimer that what I'm saying, take it with a grain of salt too, because I'm experimenting it as I go. And we'll see if it even translates to success. I mean, I've had some success in certain realms, but in terms of what I'm actually achieving or wanting to achieve, I haven't done it yet. But this is all just a free forum. And then the last thing I'll just touch on with vacation is working out while on vacation. I know this can be sometimes difficult for me because you're out of your normal routine, you're not at your normal gym. And even just adding those little bits of friction can cause you to not work out, which is fine. I mean, it is vacation, and even if you take off a week, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like something that's big for me with working out is the mental aspect. But also on vacation, I'm getting a lot more sleep, which also helps my mental ability. Uh, sometimes there's vacations where, sorry, I'm still having side effects from that allergic reaction, but sometimes there's vacations where you find the gym, you get in the routine, you do it. But I also don't want to spend 2 hours lifting because then you take it away from other things that you could be doing, opportunity costs. So it's, for me, what I did this last vacation is running is the most efficient form of exercise, in my opinion. And it's easiest. You just need a pair of shoes, shirt, shorts, and you can go out for 30 minutes, 45 minutes and get a fantastic workout. So you don't spend too much time away from the family, and then you can still also get a fantastic workout in. So this past vacation, I primarily just ran. Honestly, I took 3 rest days, did some calisthenics, so nothing crazy. Reason, I mean, there was a hotel gym and there's gyms nearby that I could have gone to, but my left shoulder had a kind of nagging ache and pain, and then also my tricep, my right tricep. So I took this vacation as an opportunity just to let those muscles relax and hopefully heal up, because then once I get back, I'm gonna go right back into my gym routine and hit it hard and hopefully see some gain. So trying to avoid injury, that ebbs and flow. Hey, I'm on vacation. I might not necessarily be optimal to get gains. So instead, I'm just going to take this time to rest, recover, hit some other things that I haven't trained in a little bit, running, which is what I did. And then the idea is now, hey, now that I'm back, I'll get back into my routine, and hopefully my left shoulder won't be bothering me as much, or my right tricep, and I can keep pushing some big weight. So that's it. I wanted to capture these raw emotions. That is the video for this week, or for last week, posted this week, but there'll be another post in a couple days for this week. But have a great rest of your week, and we will talk soon. That is it. Just be careful. If you have food allergies, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any food sensitivities, if food makes you feel weird, you should probably get it checked out because it could help you in the long run. And way better to feel healthier. So that's all. That's it. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it, and have a great day.